Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Bob Connor here once again with another video, and today we're going to be looking at the neca Ultimate Predator Jungle Hunter and Predator 2 City Hunter neca Ultimates. Now obviously they're not new. Obviously they come out quite a while ago, so I didn't want to do videos. I did a video with a reissue Predator Jungle Hunter, but then I didn't want to do a one with City Hunter on its own, so I thought I'd do a one where it's both together. I thought I actually did this video, but then I didn't. So I wanted to do it because I just like to be, a bit different with doing stuff, and I thought I'd just do one showcasing both Predators together, the Jungle Hunter and City Hunter neca Ultimates. So yeah, I mean we've pretty much talked about the neca. Sorry, there's not much room on this display table. So obviously we've talked about the Jungle Hunter already on the reissue vid. I think I might have talked about it on other videos as well. But yeah, Jungle Hunter, I still think that it's the best version of the Predator, to be honest. It's the original, the most iconic and the most well known, and obviously probably my favourite Predator movie, the first one. I've seen it, so many times. But yeah, that's actually the because I've got the head sculpt. I don't know, because I had this, which is I think pretty sure is the knockoff version, and it wasn't very good, the original version, and I've got it on display with the unmasked version. But then obviously I've got the reissue version, which is much better paint job, and yeah, it looks better. And obviously because I've got two, I've got one that's the so-called knockoff and one that's the reissue, supposedly be a real version, which is the reissue one. So now, because I've got two, I've got one on display without a mask and one with a mask. So yeah, obviously the one that's the reissue one with the mask looks so much better, and it's all painted so much better, and even the skull with the spine is painted better, which is really good. I really like the finish on that, and yeah, it's just a better version. Although the only thing is, the issue for me is the claw doesn't extend. And the guy I got it off of, he actually gave me, because I think I've said this before on the other videos, but if you hadn't heard the story before, I actually had the fake, or I think it's fake version of the original one. So I bought City Hunter, a real one, off of this guy, and I said I said to him the only Predator I had was a fake version, and he very kindly, because I bought the City Hunter from him, he actually gave me this reissue one for free. So that was very kind and generous. So then I ended up with 3 Predators. So that was really nice, because I was going to replace the original one anyway, so he very kindly gave me this. So yeah, so then I didn't have to buy one. But yeah, it's just a fantastic Predator, to be honest. I think there's a debate going whether this one's better or the Mezco one is better. I quite like the Mezco one. I think it might be better, to be honest. But this is a really good figure, and that's probably one of the best ones, if not the best, and it's just fantastic overall, just really good. Yeah, as I said, yeah, now because I've got two, I've got one displayed with a mask and one without, so I've got that option of that. So now let's talk about the, I'll move that out of the way actually, because that's the Jungle Hunter box. So let's talk about the City Hunter. Obviously, you know, from Predator 2, absolutely fantastic sequel. I know a lot of people say they don't like it, but I love it. I think it's actually fantastic. I think it's a fantastic sequel. I think it's so fun and enjoyable. I don't think there's any issues wrong with it, to be honest. Other than it being like maybe a bit too short, you know, because it's over too quickly when you watch it, and it just goes too quick for my liking. I like to enjoy films for as, you know, longer than they last. But you know, for me, it always seems to be every time I watch your favourite films, they're just over too quickly. And sometimes I always watch my favourite movies like Terminator, Predator, Alien. I always try and watch them at least twice a year because I feel like it's just over too quickly. So I feel like I have to just watch them again because, you know, I seem to kind of enjoy it once. You know, well, for me, just watching these type of films once isn't enough. To be honest, so I watch them twice when I can. And yes, I mean sometimes I'm always tempted when I do these videos like Predator, Terminator. I feel like I'm tempted to watch them again because like when I don't know when I look, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but when I do the things like and look at the stuff, you know, the figures or the mask or the props, I always feel get the urge to sort of like watch it again and put it on. You know, I don't know if you guys feel the same. Yeah, I always feel the urge to watch them again, you know, because I like them so much. But yeah, the Predator Jungle Hunter. The only issue for me is I really don't like the. I think I've said this before, but I sort of don't like the. To me, it sort of seems like a yellowy too, sort of like not dark enough sort of colour. I feel like the one in Predator, because you know when you see these films, the darker the better. You know they're supposed to be quite. Well, they look really dark when they're on film, and then they should be dark in the figures. I mean, I think the reissue Predator Jungle Hunter is, you know, looks really good. Maybe the one, the normal version doesn't look as dark and doesn't look as good, but the reissue one looks way better because it's brighter, or it's darker, I should say. And I actually think they. Now, I'm not too sure. Is there a reissue one of the City Hunter, or is there just one version? I only just thought of that actually. You know, I know there's a reissue one of the Jungle Hunter, but I don't know if there's a reissue one of this. Is there one? Can someone tell me? Because I think if there isn't, I think there needs to be one and make it darker. Got to be darker and better paint job. Because for me, it's not dark enough. And I'm sure it doesn't look like that on the screen. I've got it currently unmasked. So I think the City Hunter's fantastic head sculpt. I might actually get one because obviously there's the Predator 2 City Hunter head sculpt. I did have it with the helmet on sculpt for a while, but then I changed it to the unmasked because I've got 9 Predators currently, and I like to mix it up a bit and have some Predators with masks, some without, and then I worked it out that, you know, I have this unmasked, but you know, I might either get a damaged City Hunter version, or I might get just another normal City Hunter and have it with the mask. So then I'll have one with on one without. I'm actually tempted to do that for all the Predators and have one because I like to display them in all their glory. And I think that a lot of them look good with masks or without, and you're sort of like tempted to have them, you know, loads of Predators with mask and unmasked, or at least have the head sculpt next to it. You know, because you sometimes think, oh, shall I have it with the mask on, head sculpt, or with the mask off? And sometimes you're a bit. I mean, I'm not one for keep changing them. I mean, I don't change the hands on these things much, only to hold the weapons. But head sculpts, I like to, you know, pick a head sculpt and stick to it. I'm not really one for keep changing and changing. I like to keep it. So, yeah. But I think, yeah, Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic figure, but I just think it needs to be either reissued or a lot darker. I really don't like the lighter sort of colour. Well, to me it looks too light. I'm sure it's a lot darker. And even needs to be, as I said, I haven't even looked to see if there is reissue one or not. Maybe someone could tell me if you watch this video if there's a reissue one, but I think there needs to be one. But other than that, it's a really, really good figure. So it's one of my favourites, if not what my favourite, or well, Jungle Hunt and this is my two favourite figures. It's just the colour that I don't like. Other than that, I've also got an issue with the claw. Doesn't seem to want to come out very much. But yeah, the head sculpt's fantastic on it. And yeah, this is just, it is a fantastic figure. Apart from me not liking the colour, I think it's just a generally fantastic figure. It's probably a better type of figure than Jungle Hunter because you get loads of accessories and weapons with it. You get the spear, extended spear, and the one that's not extended that you can clip onto his back, obviously. And then you get spear, smart disc that goes onto the side of his leg, and then obviously he's got the oh yeah, and obviously I've got that thing on now, the launcher that launches out a net onto his prey. And also that obviously, because I've got it in his hand at the moment, but obviously that clips onto the side of his leg as well. So it's sort of like the ultimate weapon. I like a figure that's got loads of weapons with it, and this is just an ultimate, thing that's got it's just full of weapons and gadgets. So you can have the smart disc there, the net launcher there, and the staff there, and it's just a fantastic version of the Predator 2, to be honest. It's just the colour it's just the colour that I just don't like. I'm sure it's supposed to be darker, but that's just me. But I'm sure it's not as light as that in the film. I'm sure it's darker. But yeah, I actually prefer that.